Welcome back to Barbecue with Greg. Let's put that meat on the grill. Let's get started. Well, hello there, barbecue friends. Today, we're firing up the Louisiana Pellet Grill here. We set it to a temperature of 275. We're going to be cooking up some pork back ribs. Now, these ribs are going to be pretty special. I got this package sent to me from Maas BBQ out in Alberta, Canada. We got ourselves a nice spice blend and some hot honey. Now I could tell you more about Maas BBQ throughout the cook here, but let's open it up, take a look at this. Just packaged beautifully here for the mail. Here we have it, some hot honey and an all-purpose smoked SPG. Now, smoked SPG, that's new to me, so maybe we'll give it a little try before we put it on the ribs. And of course, we're going to add this honey toward the end of the cook, but we'll take this cook step by step. I'll let you know what I'm doing. So as our grill's coming up to temperature, let's get our ribs ready. Now I got these ribs fresh from my local butcher, Medell Brothers Quality Meats. So these are pork back ribs. What I like to do to maximize the flavor of that seasoning in the ribs, I remove the membrane on the inside. I'll show you that in a minute. But before I put my gloves on and start working with the meat, we got to take a look at this, the all-purpose smoked spice blend. Now, as it says, it's an SPG. Now, I've never tasted a smoked SPG, so I think before we put it on the ribs, we got to give this a little taste test. There's a tearaway top with a little Ziploc seal here. Careful not to spill any here. See, that's nicely blended inside there. Put a little bit in my hand, see how it goes. There is a smoke flavor to this. Gosh, that's really unique. The garlic flavor and the pepper flavor is right up front. Wow. Yeah, the pepper flavor is really potent. You got that sting of that garlic in there. Wow, I think this is going to be really good. Okay, like I say, got these nice pork back ribs from my local butcher. See, lots of meat on there, on those bones. I like these short bones with that bit of meat on there. That's why I like the back ribs. Now what I'm going to do, if you haven't seen me do this before, I'm going to remove the membrane. I'm going to start at one end with a butter knife here, just kind of work it in a little bit. Kind of right next to the bone. When I get it up enough to get my finger in there, or my thumbs, I just kind of work it across the rib. And then I work down one end of the rib. Then I pull it off the other. Something like that. And if I missed any, I'll just go back and pull that off. There we have it. We'll do the same to the other rib. Now, it could just be me, but I just find whatever seasoning I'm using penetrates into the ribs a little better when I remove the membrane. I mean, you could do it both ways. Smoked all-purpose SPG here from Maas BBQ. We'll sprinkle it all over here. It's got a real potent flavor, so I don't think it's going to take much. Just going to pour some in my hand and sprinkle it above like this. After tasting this dry spice rub here, I imagine it would go really good on a steak. All right, here we have it. These are ready for the grill. As you can see, we've got our grill leveled out at 275 degrees. Let's get these on. Now I got my upper rack here in the pellet grill. I think I might use that for today's cook. I'm gonna just lay these down, bone side or membrane side down, up here in the rack. Of course, I got the heat source on this side, so I got my ribs mostly to this side. So how did I connect with Maas BBQ in Alberta? YouTube has this great community. I met Hans through the YouTube channel here. He just created a new YouTube channel, Maas BBQ, and he's starting to kind of document his journey of this small business growing. And Hans and I talked back and forth. I found out he's doing this hot honey and spices. So he sent me some out for me to try, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you, Hans. So I'll share with you today what I think of the spice and honey. I thought the perfect cook would be on some back ribs. Now that I taste this all-purpose smoked SPG though, I'm really thinking this is gonna go good on a steak. But I wanted to incorporate both products, use the hot honey, and so I thought back ribs would be really good. So this is my first time trying these spices and honey. So thanks for everyone for watching this whole thing play out, see what kind of flavoring we get from these ribs. Now I'm gonna let these go just like this for about an hour. I'll bring you back when we do the next step. There, we are at the 1 hour mark on these ribs. You can see the color of these ribs is starting to darken a little bit. The bones are starting to pull here a little bit. So we're getting some cooking done. All I'm gonna do at this stage, we're gonna flip them so they're meat side down. I'm also just gonna rotate this rib with that rib just to even out the cooking a little bit in case there's a warmer spot in the grill. Just gonna lift these, lift this up, and I'm using the gloves just to handle it more gently. Set those in there. All right. All right, I'm gonna close the lid, let these go for another hour, then I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, we are now 2 hours into this cook, which is the exciting part here, because we get to try some of this hot honey. Now, I haven't tried this yet. Before we glaze our ribs with this, we gotta give it a try. Let's open that up. Just gonna dip a spoon in there, maybe give it a little bit of a stir around. I'll let you know what I think. Oh wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. The heat hits you right up front. In fact, I taste very little sweetness to this. It's all like a chili heat. Wow, that's really spicy. I think this is gonna make a nice glaze for those ribs. I'm almost thinking it's too spicy. All right, we're gonna give it a try anyway, because the smoke from the grill here might mild out some of that seasoning. All right, let's go glaze some ribs. And we'll take our first rack there. What I'm going to do is spoon some of the honey right over top. Then we'll take our barbecue brush and just kind of glaze over this. Then what we'll do, we'll flip these ribs over and we'll glaze this side. Again, drizzle that honey over. All of our dry rub is nicely baked into that meat, so we're not disturbing any of that doing this. Add just a little bit more here. Look how nicely that glaze worked out. Now, as I said, I'm just going to kind of foil both these ribs. And we'll put them back on the grill. Probably a couple teaspoons here full. Now we'll flip these around. We'll glaze this side. We'll start glazing this, painting this across the ribs. There we have it again. Put this on the grill. Set that one there. That there. Close our lid. Now we'll check back on these ribs in about a half hour or so. I'll bring you back, show you what we got. All right, our hot honey glaze has now been on these ribs for a half hour. So the ribs have now been on for a total cooking time of 2.5 hours at 275 degrees. I'll take in for a closer look. Let's see if these ribs are done. Here we have them. Okay, we got some nice color on there. You can see some nice bone pull here happening. I got my thermometer. Let's just see what kind of tenderness we're getting. Oh, that's very nice. Got a temperature of like around 190 maybe. Oh, that's really soft there. We got 199 there, 200. Let's go toward the center of this rib. Oh, nice there too. 198, 199. I'd say these ribs are done. Okay, we're gonna pull these off the grill. Oh, this just looks beautiful. Look at that. Set this on our board. Boy, we just got some deliciousness here happening. Now the smell coming off here is just amazing. I can sure smell that spicy honey coming off of here. Well, I'm going to bring these in the house away from the bees for a bit. Just let them rest. It's the hardest part of the cook, waiting to take a bite. So I'll bring you back for a taste test in a few minutes. All right, here we have it. They've been resting for about 5 minutes. Just look at that. Juicy, delicious. They just look fantastic. All right, so we're gonna cut into this. Finally get a taste of our creation here. And the knife's just going right through this. Get up close here for the first taste. Just look at that. Just looks fantastic. All right, let's have a taste. The meat just pulls off the bone here. The first taste profile I'm hitting is that pepper from the seasoning. Followed by the sweetness of the honey, believe it or not. The heat kind of calmed down a little bit. That's a fantastic rib. Just love the way that honey just coated the exterior so nicely. Actually, after eating that one rib, I'm tasting the spice from the honey. Boy, I'm really liking the combination of this SPG and the hot honey. Normally, I like a really sweet rib, but I'm telling you, this is just fantastic. And I know the focus is the seasoning and the hot honey that I put on, but these ribs are just cooked fantastic as well. The meat just pulls off the bone. Well, like I said, this is a fantastic combination. The smoked SPG seasoning, I'm telling you, is just outstanding. The flavors in there is quite potent, very flavorful. In my opinion, it's a superior seasoning to what you would normally buy. The smoke profile in there just hits you so nicely. That peppery flavor and the garlic. But these ribs, when you add that glaze, that hot honey, just ups the whole game here in the flavor profile. Wow, is that fantastic. Well, if you're interested in these Maas BBQ products, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Go check them out, visit. I'll also leave a link in the description for Maas BBQ YouTube channel. If you want to check them out, start watching them from the ground level because they're really going places with these flavors. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you smash that like button. And of course, you want to see more cooks like this, click that subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Barbecue with Greg.
Thanks for watching Barbecue with Greg, one of those barbecue cooking shows people watch on YouTube sometimes.